In the far reaches of the Andromeda cluster, a little alien girl named Lyra crouched in the shadow of her stepmother's cold, metallic home. Her green eyes sparkled with tears as she looked around, hoping no one would notice her. The stepmother's cruel laughter echoed through the empty halls, sending shivers down Lyra's small spine. She had been left alone for hours, her stomach growling, her body shivering from fear and hunger. The walls of the house were tall, dark, and unwelcoming, like a cage built to trap her. Every corner seemed dangerous, and every shadow looked like it could swallow her whole. Lyra hugged her knees tightly, whispering, "Please, someone, anyone, help me." Her voice was soft, trembling, almost lost in the metallic echoes of the house. Outside, the wind howled like a wild beast, carrying with it strange sense of distant worlds. Lyra could hear the faint hum of spaceships above, and her heart raced with both fear and hope. She had heard stories of humans traveling across galaxies, sometimes helping creatures in need. Could one of them hear her cry tonight? She wondered, her tiny heart aching with longing. Suddenly, a strange light pierced through the darkness, flickering against the walls of her prison. It was soft at first, then grew brighter, and Lyra froze in place, staring at the sky. A human spaceship was descending, its metal surface glinting, and its engines humming like a giant, gentle heartbeat. Her mind raced. Is this real? Could someone really be coming to save me? She peeked from behind a large metal pillar, trembling with a mix of fear and hope. The ramp of the spaceship slowly lowered, and a tall figure stepped out, moving carefully. It was a human, dressed in simple clothes, but his eyes were kind, scanning the area with care. Lyra's lips quivered as she whispered, "Be my dad, please," hoping the human could hear her. Orion, the human, paused as he saw her, his eyes widening in surprise. He had never seen a creature so small, fragile, and alone in such a cold world. He knelt down carefully, keeping his hands visible so she would not feel threatened. "Hey there, little one, are you okay?" he asked gently, his voice soft but confident. Lyra took a small step forward, her tiny feet making soft clanging sounds on the metal floor. Every step felt like a victory against the fear that had kept her trapped for so long. Orion extended his hand slowly, giving her the choice to come closer. Her small hand trembled as she reached for his, and for the first time that night, she felt warmth, safety, and a hope that had been missing for so long. The stepmother appeared suddenly at the top of the stairs, her face twisted in anger. "Get away from her," she shouted, her voice cold and harsh. Lyra shrank back, but Orion stood firm, shielding her with his body. He spoke calmly. "She's not alone anymore. Leave her be." The stepmother hissed, but something in Orion's presence made her hesitate. She had never seen a human so calm, so fearless, standing against her cruelty. Lyra squeezed Orion's hand, feeling a spark of courage ignite within her. She realized that maybe, just maybe, she did not have to be afraid anymore. The spaceship's lights bathed the area in a soft glow, making the world seem less frightening. Lyra took another step forward, feeling the cold metal beneath her feet, but no longer feeling trapped. Orion knelt even lower, smiling warmly. "Come with me, little one. You're safe now." Her eyes filled with tears of relief as she nodded, trusting this human stranger. Together, they slowly moved toward the spaceship, leaving behind the shadows and the cruelty. Lyra's heart beat faster with excitement, curiosity, and hope for the adventures that awaited. She had never imagined that one simple plea, "Be my dad," would change everything. Tonight, her life was about to begin again, in ways she could never have dreamed of. The stars above twinkled like witnesses to this new beginning, shining brighter as the spaceship prepared to leave. Little did Lyra know, her journey had just begun, and the universe had many surprises in store. The bond forming between the human and the little alien girl would be tested, stretched, and strengthened. And every step they took together would lead them closer to unimaginable adventures across galaxies. The spaceship doors closed with a soft hiss, and Lyra felt the warmth of the cabin surround her. She pressed her tiny hands against Orion's sleeve, still unsure if the danger was truly gone. Outside, the stepmother's angry shouts faded, replaced by the hum of the ship's engines. Lyra looked around in wonder, amazed by the soft lights, strange panels, and blinking buttons. Orion smiled gently. Don't worry, you're safe here with me. Her green eyes sparkled, but fear still lingered deep inside her. She had never trusted anyone before, and the world outside had been cruel and cold. The ship lifted off slowly, gliding above the dark surface of her home planet. Lyra pressed her face against the glass, watching the metal towers shrink below. Everything she had known, the walls, the cold floors, the cruel laughter, was disappearing. Yet the unknown ahead made her heart pound with both excitement and anxiety. Orion guided her to a small, cozy cabin at the back of the ship. A soft bed, warm blankets, and gentle lights made the space feel like a small world of comfort. Lyra sat quietly, hugging her knees, unsure if she should speak or hide. Orion knelt before her. You can tell me anything, little one. I promise to listen. She whispered about her stepmother, the loneliness, the hunger, and the fear. Her words tumbled out in small bursts, each one heavy with pain and hope. Orion listened carefully, nodding, never interrupting, his eyes kind and understanding. You're very brave, he said when she finished. And now, you have someone to help you. For the first time, Lyra felt a strange warmth, a hope that maybe life could be different. But shadows of her past clung tightly, whispering doubts and fears she couldn't shake. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently, alarms blinking red. Lyra's eyes widened in panic, gripping Orion's arm tightly. What's happening? She asked, her voice shaking. Orion's face turned serious as he activated the controls. We're being pulled off course, hold on tight. The ship spun through the dark sky, dodging glowing debris and strange, crackling energy. Lyra's stomach dropped, fear mixing with the thrill of the unknown. She had never imagined space could be so dangerous, so vast, and so alive. Orion's hands were steady on the controls, his calm voice guiding her through the chaos. Finally, the ship leveled, the alarm stopped, and silence returned. Lyra exhaled shakily, leaning against him, realizing that danger could appear even when she thought she was safe. Hours passed in quiet tension, the stars outside twinkling like distant guardians. Orion taught her about the ship, the controls, and the stars, using simple words she could understand. Lyra listened intently, fascinated by this new world that stretched far beyond her home planet. She learned that some humans traveled to many planets to help those in need. Her small heart filled with wonder, imagining a life beyond fear, beyond cruelty, beyond loneliness. Yet, somewhere deep inside, she knew her stepmother would not give up so easily. She shivered, hugging herself, realizing that the journey ahead would be full of challenges. But now, she had a companion, someone who would protect her, guide her, and listen. Orion noticed her unease and squeezed her hand gently. We'll face whatever comes together. Lyra nodded slowly, a faint smile touching her lips, a fragile hope taking root. As the ship drifted silently through the galaxy, Lyra's thoughts wandered to the strange worlds they might visit. Adventures, friends, dangers, mysteries, all awaited them in the vast universe. Her past pain felt heavy, but the light of this new life pushed her forward. For the first time, she believed that even a little alien girl, abandoned and afraid, could find a place in the universe where she belonged. And as the stars raced past the windows, Lyra whispered softly, "Thank you, my new dad." Orion smiled, knowing that their bond was only beginning. The galaxy was wide, strange, and unpredictable, but together, they were ready. And the shadows of her stepmother could not reach her here, not yet. The adventure was just beginning, and the little alien girl was learning the first lesson of survival, courage, and trust. The spaceship glided silently through the endless black of space. Lyra pressed her small hands against the window, watching stars streak past like silver rivers. She had never seen anything so beautiful, so vast, and so alive. Orion noticed her fascination and smiled gently. Soon, we'll visit a planet where you can run and play freely. Lyra's eyes widened with excitement, yet a small part of her still feared the unknown. Every new world seemed magical but dangerous, full of creatures she had never imagined. Her mind wandered back to her stepmother, and a shiver ran down her spine. Would she come after her? Could she find them even here in the galaxy? Orion seemed to sense her worry, and he placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry, Lyra. Wherever we go, I will protect you," he said softly. The little alien girl nodded, letting a fragile smile touch her lips. For the first time in her life, she felt a flicker of safety, a glimmer of hope. Hours later, the spaceship descended toward a planet with lush green forests and sparkling rivers. The air shimmered in colors she could not name, and the wind carried a sweet, gentle scent. "This is your new home, for now," Orion said as he guided her down the ramp. Lyra took a careful step onto the soft, warm ground, feeling the life of this planet beneath her feet. It was so different from the cold metal floor she had known. Bird-like creatures with glowing wings flitted past, chirping in strange melodies. Lyra gasped, reaching out to touch the nearest flower, its petals soft and glowing faintly. Every sound, every color, every movement felt like magic. She laughed softly, a sound she had not made in a long time. Orion watched her with satisfaction, happy to see her beginning to trust and enjoy life. But even in this paradise, danger was never far. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the forest, shaking the ground beneath them. Lyra froze, her green eyes wide with fear. A giant creature with scales like metal and eyes like molten gold emerged from the trees. It towered over them, its claws scraping the soil, and smoke curling from its nostrils. Orion stepped forward, shielding Lyra with his body, his eyes steady. "Stay behind me," he said firmly, gripping a small device that hummed with power. The creature growled, its sharp teeth glinting in the sunlight. Lyra's heart raced, yet she felt a strange thrill, a spark of courage she had never known. The creature lunged, but Orion activated the device, sending a wave of energy that forced it back. It roared one last time and retreated into the forest, leaving a trail of scorched earth. Lyra clung to Orion, her breath heavy. "That was scary," she whispered. He knelt down, smiling reassuringly. "Yes, but we survived, and that is what matters." For the first time, she understood that adventure always came with risk. And to survive in this new life, she would need courage, cleverness, and trust in those who cared for her. They set up a small camp near a sparkling river, the soft glow of the planet casting gentle light on their faces. Lyra explored cautiously, touching the water, smelling the flowers, and watching the glowing creatures. Her laughter echoed through the trees, blending with the natural music of this strange, beautiful world. Orion watched, silently promising to protect her from every shadow, every danger, and every fear. The galaxy was wide, filled with wonders and threats, but together, they could face whatever came next. And somewhere deep inside, Lyra felt a small fire of hope burning brighter than ever. The little alien girl had left her past behind, and each new step was a step toward freedom, adventure, and trust. The next morning, Lyra woke to the soft glow of the twin suns over the alien forest. She stretched her tiny arms, feeling the warmth on her skin, and for a moment, forgot all fear. Orion was already preparing breakfast using a small energy cooker, the smell of warm food filling the air. "Eat quickly, little one. We have much to explore today," he said with a kind smile. Lyra's green eyes sparkled as she nibbled at the food, feeling stronger with every bite. The forest around them seemed alive, the trees swaying, whispering in a language she could not understand. Orion led her carefully through the tall grass, pointing out strange plants that glowed softly in the shadowed paths. Lyra reached out to touch the leaves, marveling at their texture, soft yet strong. Suddenly, the ground beneath her feet trembled, small vibrations racing up her legs. She froze, her small heart thudding in her chest. From the shadows, glowing eyes appeared, staring at them from the dark underbrush. Orion stepped protectively in front of her, his hand hovering over the energy device at his belt. Lyra squeezed his hand tightly, trusting him completely. A low growl echoed, followed by movement in the shadows. To her surprise, a small creature emerged, no bigger than her arm, covered in soft fur that shimmered in the sunlight. It sniffed the air, then tilted its head, studying them curiously. Orion crouched down, holding out a small piece of food. "It's okay, little one. We mean no harm." The creature approached cautiously, sniffed, and took the food gently from his hand. Lyra giggled softly, feeling a strange connection with this new friend. See? Not everything here is dangerous, Orion whispered, smiling. But just as they relaxed, a rustling noise came from above, high in the trees. Branches cracked, and glowing eyes appeared, staring down at them from the canopy. The little creature growled, its fur standing on end, warning them of danger. Suddenly, a shadow fell over them as a large predator leapt down, its claws sharp and glinting. Orion acted quickly, activating a bright energy shield that blocked the attack. The predator hissed and recoiled, then disappeared back into the trees. Lyra's eyes were wide with shock and excitement, her heartbeat racing. This forest holds many secrets, Orion said. Some beautiful, some dangerous, but all part of this world. Lyra nodded slowly, her small hands still clutching his sleeve. She realized that adventure was never simple, that danger and wonder walked side by side. And in this strange forest, she would need courage, cleverness, and trust in Orion to survive. As they moved deeper, strange glowing plants lit their path, the forest alive with unseen life. Every step was a lesson, every shadow a challenge. Yet the bond between the human and the little alien girl grew stronger with each passing moment. The galaxy was wide, full of mystery, and they had only begun to explore it together. And as night fell, the forest shimmered with bioluminescent lights, guiding them safely back to their small camp. Lyra whispered softly, "I think I'm ready for whatever comes next." Orion smiled, knowing the little girl was learning to face the unknown with courage. In this world of wonders and dangers, they were no longer just traveler and passenger. They were companions, explorers, and guardians of each other's fragile hearts. The morning mist curled through the alien forest, and Lyra's small feet left tiny prints on the soft ground. She held Orion's hand tightly as they ventured deeper, the trees growing taller and denser with every step. A strange feeling crept over her, a whisper of unease she could not ignore. "The forest changes here," Orion said quietly. "We must be careful." Lyra nodded, her green eyes wide as glowing eyes appeared in the distance, watching them silently. The little alien girl's mind drifted back to her stepmother, the cruel words, the cold laughter. She shivered, realizing that the past was never far behind, even across galaxies. Orion noticed her hesitation, squeezing her hand gently. "Whatever comes, I'm with you." They moved through thick ferns and glowing vines, the air humming with energy. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind a tree, harsh and familiar. Lyra froze, her heart pounding violently in her chest. The stepmother had somehow followed them, her metallic boots clanging against the ground. "You thought you could escape me, little one," she sneered, her eyes cold and cruel. Lyra trembled, instinctively stepping back behind Orion. Orion stood firm, his hand on his energy device, ready for anything. The stepmother advanced, her face twisted with anger and power. "You cannot hide in this galaxy forever," she hissed. Lyra's small voice rose, quivering yet defiant. I'm not afraid of you anymore." Orion stepped closer, his stance protective. "She's not alone, and she never will be." The stepmother snarled, but the human's calm courage and determination seemed to halt her. Lyra felt a spark of bravery, realizing that she could stand, fight, and survive. Orion activated the ship's communicator, calling for backup. The stepmother's eyes widened in surprise, realizing she was outnumbered and outsmarted. But before she could retreat, the ground shook violently, cracks splitting the soil beneath them. A massive creature, unseen until now, rose from the earth, its scales shimmering like molten metal. The stepmother froze in fear, her power diminished in the face of this new threat. Lyra's heart raced, but she did not move, trusting Orion and the strange forces of this world. The creature glared at the stepmother, then turned its massive head toward Orion and Lyra. To Lyra's relief, it bowed slightly, as if recognizing them as allies. The stepmother, realizing she had no advantage, snarled one last time before retreating into the shadows. Lyra's knees shook, but a strange thrill of courage filled her chest. She looked up at Orion, her eyes shining with new determination. I can face anything now, as long as you're here," she whispered. Orion smiled, ruffling her soft green hair gently. And I will always be here, little one. The forest seemed to settle around them, the glowing vines swaying softly in the breeze. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling stronger, braver, ready for the adventures that awaited. She knew the galaxy was full of dangers, mysteries, and wonders. But together, she and Orion could face anything. And for the first time, she believed in a future free from fear, full of hope, courage, and friendship. The shadows of the past could not hold her, not when the stars themselves seemed to guide their path. After the terrifying encounter with her stepmother, Lyra felt both frightened and stronger. She held Orion's hand as they moved deeper into the alien forest, the glowing plants casting dancing shadows on the ground. The twin suns were beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of purple and gold. Orion guided her carefully. There's a place not far from here, a safe haven where no one can harm you. Lyra's green eyes widened with curiosity, hope mingling with cautious fear. They walked for hours, through winding paths and over streams that sparkled like liquid stars. Every sound made Lyra jump, yet she clung to Orion, trusting him completely. Finally, they arrived at a hidden valley, surrounded by cliffs and glowing flora. A gentle river flowed through the center, its waters shimmering with bioluminescent light. Small creatures with soft fur and luminous eyes peeked from behind the trees, watching the strangers silently. Lyra gasped in wonder, stepping carefully into the valley, feeling safe for the first time in her life. "This is amazing," she whispered, her voice full of awe. Orion smiled. "This place has hidden itself from danger for centuries. It will protect us." Lyra explored cautiously, touching soft moss and sparkling flowers, her heart filling with joy. Yet, the forest was not without its mysteries. Shadows flickered among the cliffs and trees. Orion crouched beside her, pointing to a small cave hidden behind thick vines. "Inside, we can rest and stay hidden if needed," he explained gently. Lyra peeked into the cave, its entrance glowing faintly with natural crystals. Inside, the air was cool and calm, the walls sparkling like the night sky. She felt a strange sense of peace, as if the valley itself was alive and watching over them. Suddenly, a soft whisper echoed through the trees, barely audible. Lyra froze, her green eyes wide. "Who's there?" she asked quietly. A small figure emerged, a tiny alien creature with translucent skin and glowing eyes. It bowed its head politely, speaking in a gentle, musical language, which Orion seemed to understand. "They are friendly," he said, smiling. "They watch over this valley and help those in need." The little alien girl stepped forward, curiosity pushing fear aside. The creature approached her, touching her hand softly with its glowing appendage. Lyra felt a warm energy flow through her, a sense of connection with this strange world. "This place, it feels alive," she whispered, turning to Orion. "Yes," he said softly. "It's alive, and it has chosen to help us." The wind rustled through the glowing trees, as if confirming his words. For the first time, Lyra felt truly safe, free from fear of her stepmother or any other enemy. Yet, deep inside, she knew the universe held many more dangers, adventures, and mysteries. She had survived so far, learning courage, trust, and hope, and the hidden sanctuary would give her the strength to face whatever came next. As night fell, the valley glowed with a soft, magical light, illuminating their small camp. Lyra cuddled close to Orion, whispering, "I think I'm ready for tomorrow." Orion smiled, wrapping a protective arm around her. "And I'll be with you, every step of the way." The stars above twinkled brighter than ever, promising new adventures. And in that hidden sanctuary, the little alien girl dreamed of courage, freedom, and the endless possibilities of the galaxy. The hidden valley glowed softly under the twin moons. Lyra sat beside Orion, her green eyes reflecting the shimmering waters of the river. For the first time, she felt a quiet peace, a feeling she had never known before. The dangers of her past, the stepmother, the cold walls, the loneliness, seemed far away. Yet deep inside, she knew the galaxy still held surprises, some friendly, some dangerous. Orion looked at her with warmth. "Tomorrow, we explore more of this world, but tonight, rest." Lyra nodded, hugging a soft, glowing moss that felt like a pillow. As she lay down, memories of fear and sadness surfaced, but she no longer felt powerless. She had survived, escaped, and learned that trust and courage could overcome the darkest shadows. Suddenly, a soft rustling came from the trees, and glowing eyes appeared. The little alien creatures of the valley approached, their gentle energy filling the air. They circled Lyra and Orion, guiding them toward a crystal-clear pond in the center. Orion knelt beside Lyra, pointing to the reflections in the water. "Look, the universe is bigger than you think." Lyra saw stars reflected in the pond, but also glimpses of distant planets, strange creatures, and endless possibilities. A thrill ran through her small body, a sense that she could be anything, do anything, and explore everything. "This place, it feels alive, like it knows I belong here," she whispered. Orion nodded. "And you do, Lyra, more than you realize." A soft breeze carried the whispers of the forest, like a lullaby of protection and hope. She felt her fears melting away, replaced by courage, curiosity, and a desire for adventure. But even in this peaceful sanctuary, the galaxy's challenges were never far. Orion explained that other beings, some kind and some cruel, lived across the stars. Lyra listened, understanding that danger was always part of life. Yet, with trust, bravery, and cleverness, she could face anything. The little alien girl stood, her small hands clenched in determination. "I will be brave," she said softly. "I will not be afraid anymore." Orion smiled, ruffling her soft green hair. "And I'll be by your side, always." Together, they walked along the glowing river, their footsteps leaving tiny sparks of light. The alien creatures followed, forming a protective circle around them. The stepmother would never find them here, nor could she harm Lyra again. The valley had chosen to protect them, its magic and life intertwining with their own courage. Lyra laughed softly, a sound full of freedom, joy, and newfound strength. Orion looked at her, proud and hopeful, knowing the bond they shared was unbreakable. "This is just the beginning," he said. "The galaxy is vast, and we have so much to see." Lyra nodded, her heart swelling with excitement. "I am ready for everything." And as the twin moons rose higher, casting silver light across the valley, the little alien girl, once abandoned and afraid, stepped confidently into her new life. A life of adventure, friendship, and endless possibilities across the stars. The universe awaited them, vast and mysterious, but together they could face it all. And in that hidden sanctuary, under the glow of alien moons, Lyra finally felt safe, loved, and free.